Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is Free Range. And I must tell you, we were planning on starting an hour ago, but we've had audio problems, which we've had to deal with for the past hour. And if you don't believe me, just ask Drake. But anyway, we finally got it up and running, and Paul was here to help us out, and we're so grateful for that. So without further ado, let me bring in Drake.
Hi, y'all.
We're already burnt out, huh, Drake?
Yeah. I was standing on the plug and it didn't work too well. And then we figured out which foot was on the plug. And I took that foot off the plug and took the plug tube and plugged it back in where it was supposed to be. And everything's been fine ever since.
It took us a while to figure that one out, though, didn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, what took us a while was me completely reconfiguring StreamYard with your branding so we could do the show in StreamYard instead of Restream. But we're running, we're going, we're rocking and rolling. And
yeah, because we couldn't figure out what the audio issue was, so we left Restream and had to come to this platform. So anyway, we're pretty much good to go at this point in time.
God, I hope so.
And let me see.
And we're gonna have to have multiple windows monitoring the questions from chat because we don't have the direct Restream integration, all the fun stuff where we can see everything on one screen. We got to use multiple monitors and stuff like that, but I've got it covered. I got this going on. So
yeah, we're having all kinds of. What are you doing, Drake?
I have issues. Anyway, now this is going to be a censored platforms for about 10 minutes. Grab the description or go to gailofgaia.com and get the links to Rumble or Odyssey. You can also go to rumble.gailofgaia.com. That'll go straight to the Rumble site, or Odyssey. It doesn't matter how you spell it, if you spell it right or spell it the way Odyssey spells it. Either way, it'll go to Odyssey and the Free Range Gail of Gaia Odyssey channel. So everybody start working on migration over to the censored platform or uncensored platforms, because we are going to be dropping these strangulating platforms like a rock.
Yeah, well, we have some interesting little tidbits to add to the show that they just might take us down for, but it's information you need to know. And I had Drake preview it, and you agreed. I said I had you preview it, and you agreed. So, in order for us to show that, we have to be on the uncensored platforms.
Absolutely.
Ooh.
Yeah. No swearing. No, that's not what it is. Anyway,
we don't do that.
I previewed it, and I'm telling you that the lady is right on about what she's saying. The thing is that it doesn't apply to just one particular set of people. It applies to everybody. Sort of like that problem that the Marxists have got with the Constitution being in the way and whatnot. That sort of thing. It's very simple. Each of us is a sovereign, and each of us, through that, has a direct benefit from the big coon in the sky. We are in a position where we should determine what is and what is not to be. This has not been the case. You can take a look at Canada and get a good idea. Now, Joe Biden has been joining in with Trudeau in a whole bunch of different things, in a bunch of different ways, as secretly as is possible. And his stuff is going to really get some people excited, I hope.
I was, told that Trudeau had to remove the Emergency Act because it was unlawful, and he immediately, as soon as he put it in, he was hit with lawsuits. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, and he's trying to make it run permanently. and extend it and a bunch of other things. And the problem is that that is not the manner in which you handle his quote problems. When your underwear shrinks, you don't keep wearing it. You get the right size and get it up. You get your stuff together. You don't play games with the people's rights. Hello. And if you do, and they are of a very freedom oriented culture, you're looking at Civil War II. If that's what you guys want, go right ahead and do what you got to do. Now, Biden already stepped in it big time. You think gas prices are high now? Oh my. Wait until they get about $8-10 a gallon. What he took in the way of executive action, I believe it was Monday, he suspended all pumping and drilling and whatnot on public lands. That's going to raise what we got.
He's doing that on purpose. He knows what that's. He knows what that's going to do, and he's doing it on purpose, isn't he?
Well, yeah. I did a show, and the first question I asked was, "Do you really think that this stuff is an accident? That the people are so stupid that they would take an action that would cause a lot of harm to a whole bunch of people needlessly? Do you really think that's an accident?" I'm going to tell you right here and right now, it isn't.
You know what else I heard? Sometimes I'll say I heard it because I haven't been able to verify it. They also said that.
Just remember, we're still on censored. We're still on the censored platforms, so we're at 8 minutes and 14 seconds in.
Okay, do I have to go into Restream and shut mine off? Is that how?
Yes, you have to go into Restream and shut off the censored platform. So if you're connected by YouTube, switch over to either Rumble or Odyssey to the program over there, and oh well, then we're going to lose the chat. Okay, let's wait to shut off the censored platforms. Let's wait until we get to the last bit of the show where we really, really want to talk about stuff. What do you think?
Okay, that's fine. We'll just what I was going to say isn't anything that they could censor us for. I don't think. I was told, because I don't even know if this is true or not. They said that Biden sent people on horseback, border people on horseback, to support Trudeau and gave the horseback riders whips. I don't know if that's true though. Would he really do that? I mean,
that sounds like a big controversy on the southern border when the Border Patrol used reins to control people that give them the finger and tell them they don't have any right to control. There is, you want to get to the crux of it. It's very simple. Everybody that has a position, whether it's government, police, firemen, whatever, has certain authority. That authority is granted, not absolutely taken as a legal right, but granted by the people. When the people no longer recognize that authority, the government's in trouble, big time. Now, I refuse the idea of a revolution. I don't like the idea at all because it's too totalitarian in the wrong direction, usually. What I have found, this is research I've done, I've looked around, is that you can have a partial revolution. Now, by that I mean the authority to require a vaccine or a mask or whatever they might have in mind, has limitations. And those limitations are set by you and me, we the people. We decide if we want to be governed in the manner in which they are offering it. And that's basically your decision. Nobody else's. Nobody can tell you to do this or do that or act this way or act that way. It's just very simply a choice. God gave us a choice. It's written in the book. Go look it up. Believe or not, as ye so choose. Ooh. Pretty simple, not complicated.
Mm.
I left out all the legalistics. There's a
Okay.
big pile of them. It'd fill up this room so bad you wouldn't be able to see me.
I have a question from a friend of mine that she said that there was somebody out there. I'm not going to give the name, but there was somebody out there that was telling people or looking for special people that would go get on the ships with them because they're going to, the earth is going to burn up. How do you like that?
No, I hate to inform people, but that's gobbledygook from a long time ago that hasn't been valid for a few thousand years now.
That's what I said, but I said I'd ask you to verify and make sure.
Well, we got enough problem with the poles melting and whatnot. We don't need to heat the thing up.
Okay. We got somebody over here insisting on having their question answered. And I can tell you right now, I'm not necessarily going to get to everybody's questions this time because I'm not even seeing them in the chat, except on a different computer, which makes it kind of difficult. You don't have any idea how tricky this is at times. Okay. So just be aware of that. So this question is.
Just bear with us. We're doing the best we can with the bandaged system we had to put together to make this show happen in the first place. So we're doing our best. Thank you so much.
Gail, can you see that message up there? Private chat
from Red Pill Warrior.
Yes.
Is that the one?
Yeah.
So what's the difference from a human soul and energy in its vessel versus a non-human soul? Groups, also humans, are sovereign over the earth, I hear.
Okay. The spirit is the same thing. The soul pattern, although different, each one is unique to each individual, is universal. Not humans, ET, whatever. And the energies involved are one and the same. It all comes from the Creator. That's just
Okay, we got another one. Would it be wise to start stepping back from 3D ways of doing things in preparation for the transition?
No, you can if it doesn't interfere with eating and whatnot. As long as you can pay your bills and all that, I mean, you're good. The thing I told everybody to prep, and by prep I mean food, water, gun, ammunition, safe place. Work with a group of people in the neighborhood and get them all on board as to, if the bad guys show up, we want to be ready for them, kind of thing. Other than that, live your life normally. Now, those things that you prep with, rice, beans, meat, etc., make sure that you can rotate that a bit. Now, by rotate, I mean you're going to eat a meal out of it. Simple. It's not complicated. There are 2 or 3 schools of thought on general health that I will leave to the individual to find out about. You have plants, animals, and minerals. Those 3 items right there basically will cover any of your, and I quote this loosely, needs.
Quote this loosely. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, let me. I have until they put another question in there. I have a question from an email. Okay. It says, you said Earth is a keystone planet. What is a keystone planet and what's its purpose?
Okay. If you want to study it, the Masons used in an arch a keystone. The keystone basically held a pressure due to gravity, and it's held a pressure on the side stones to keep the arch functional. Didn't move, didn't go anywhere. Some arches are ancient. Now, keystone is the name for that stone. Sometimes they're raised, and sometimes they're let's see here, angled so that they exert the pressure correctly. A keystone is that which holds things together by virtue of natural forces. Bear that in mind. A keystone planet is one that specifically is designate as the glue that keeps things from falling apart. That's what this planet you stand on, known as Earth, is. That's one of the reasons it's a living entity. And the other part of it, it keeps the galaxy in order. Bear that in mind. And if you really want to know this stuff, ooh, you got to learn how to read Egyptian hieroglyphics. Ooh, cuneiform writing. Ooh, and if you really want to get into it, you sit back, meditate, and take an astral projection visit to an ET that knows. How about that?
Okay, well, I'm sure everybody's gonna.
Let me ask you a question, Gail. I think this would be hilarious. Wait till a fact checker decides to grab that one and do something to it. Oh, that would be fun to listen to.
Okay, here's one from Mary Jane. Will the need for money go away after the transition?
Eventually. We're going to go to a cashless society within about a year or less. Depends on how fast ET moves and what type of systems and forces they put in place to control things.
Drake,
can I add something?
Can I say something too? Go ahead, Paul. Go first.
Okay, well, everybody's weirded out about the cashless system, and because they've been pushing the cashless system as part of the new world order and the social credit system and everything else. Now, the cashless system that they want is not necessarily the cashless system that we are going to get. The cashless system that we get should be between us and the blockchain, where we have control of our money and they do not. The cashless system they wanted, based on your credit score, they could shut off your card to make sure that you don't roam around too much, or that if you don't buy too much stuff, if you don't start hoarding shit or start prepping, for when they want to shut off your food supply, they want you to go hungry pretty much within a day or two. They would be watching people that would be hoarding. The cashless system that we are looking to is between you and the blockchain, and nobody else has control over it. This is important.
And what's neat is that it is of an ET design, which is extraordinarily advanced over anything that you experts have thought of out there.
Well, probably part of the reason for that is everybody is tying it up to the China social credit system, where if they don't like you, they just cut you off, that kind of thing. So assuming that the ETs have that figured out, so that can't happen.
Now, did you say that China was cutting people off?
Well, China has a social credit system.
I know. I was just wondering,
Well, that's what they're trying to do here. I mean, that's what they want to do.
It seems like what Trudeau's doing in Canada. That's why I just thought I'd ask.
Yeah, what they want and what they're going to get are two different things.
Ooh, you mean somebody's liable to get a smackdown? Hey, boy, not like that. And here's what's nice about it. ET explains some things to me beyond what you can find on exopolitics.org. And that is that this thing is unhackable. So nobody can get in your bank account and play with it. Number two, the nefarious ones are going to have a real, seriously bad time of it, for the simple fact that not only are they going to be watched, but they're going to be controlled. Ooh, we're going to put them in a box and say, no, 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 no. And we'll see how it goes. I'm going to love it. You have a variety of people that are ruin nations as a regular deal, and they're just playing games, and they ruin a whole financial system of a whole nation. I mean, come on now, put those boys in the box.
Exactly. And you're absolutely right about
There's
that.
another one
All over the
in our chat.
Okay.
Whoop.
Do you know if Marina Jacobi and her harmonic resonance quantum theory is correct? That's assuming you know what that is.
To an extent. It's
Harmonic.
not totally 100% correct because there's a whole lot that goes into it that she hasn't even considered. Okay?
Okay.
Globalist model.
China has been using the social credit system for years. It was globalist model, and Klaus Schwab wanted to roll it out everywhere. Well, Mr.
I calls him like I sees him. I call him Klaus Lousy.
Klaus Lousy. Yeah,
Okay.
I always call that. Klaus
Anyway.
Well, you know what? Here's what he said. He said, "You will own nothing and you will be happy." But now I want you to think about this. You're just a tenant in your house. You don't really own your car. How much different is that really than it has been in this corporate system?
I feel that China's at least being honest and telling us that. I mean, here's the thing. That system has not worked, won't work, and didn't work the time it was tried some, you'll love this, 4,000 years ago. It flopped.
Okay. So what are we looking for after yesterday?
That's a good question. The big event or whatever it was went like a firecracker with a bad fuse.
Yeah, nothing. I guess people were expecting more to happen on that day.
I'm going to give everybody a little heads up. Definitives, when you define and you specify and you select specific dates to have something happen, it may agree with everything but happening. Oops. So we get to wait until whenever the transition comes along and ET lands on a lawn and all that stuff.
Okay, here's another question from the other side here from emails. You said that humans have a particular life essence not found in ET life forms. What is this, and why do ETs want it?
Now wait a minute. Take about 5 courses in anthropology and the study of bipedal beings, and you'll get the basis for the answer to the question. Here's the answer. If you do not take into consideration all of the parameters of something, you're not going to get it right. I don't care what it is. Think about that. And then when you get done with those 5 courses, come back to the show and ask the question that you really want to ask.
Okay, here's another one. You are giving times for the transition to accrue. You said on more than one occasion that the time was not known by anyone. Which is it? True. They're challenging you now.
That's true. They won't tell me, and I'm supposed to be one of the premier people that's supposed to know. What are you going to do? The supply chain ate my Christmas present. Think of an excuse. ET ate my homework.
Okay, let's see if we have any new. Okay, Drake, do we have mermaids that look like us or can walk on land and go into the sea?
Yes. They're called the aquatics, and they don't exactly look like the mermaids people think they do. They look more like people. Whether or not you see the gills, whether or not you see the scales, whether or not they have them, varies according to the race involved. There's about 15 of those races presently in the oceans. And they're kind of pissed because of the trash we've been dumping in it.
Okay.
How would you feel if a garbage truck pulled up to your backyard and unloaded? That's basically what they're dealing with, and they think humans are pond scum in a lot of ways. I'm inclined to agree with some of that.
Um, hmm. Okay, I have another question here. It says, I saw an interview with Carrie Cassidy with William Hopkins, a true and early American space program pioneer. He said that ET, I believe the Nordics, had an age regression process where a person would take one special pill a month for 4 months, and it would regress males back to 29 years old and women to 21 years old. Mr. Hopkins had a major credibility and truthful reputation. So I would appreciate your opinion regarding his age regression intel.
Okay, just a minute.
It's William Tompkins, not Hopkins.
Wait a minute.
It's Tompkins, yeah.
Imagine living 25 times what the average 70 years, give or take, is. That's her normal lifespan, 1,800 years. It was stolen by the funky ETs that wanted to see humankind fail. We were designed to dig gold, basically, by the Anunnaki. Then we got this problem with bad ETs coming in, kicking the Anunnakis Watusi right to kick off the planet, and implementing all the horse manure that we're dealing with presently, old age, etc. And
Chronic disease.
Gail knows a lot of this. She knows about nutrition. The thing about it is that fast food got us away from decent nutrition. Okay, the time constraints. Now, this is a trick. If you don't have enough time to eat a proper meal, then you go to a fast food, and it is not nearly as good as it's supposed to be, let alone good for you. Okay. Secondly, people have stayed away from supplementation. Supplementation is key to longevity. That's only part of it. In the meantime, like right now, you are in a position to take hold of and care for yourself in such a manner that diseases can't get to you. I've described what I recommend, and it's not really complicated and it's not real expensive. And almost anybody who has any means at all can participate in the program. The program is simple. Your immune system is dynamite, bulletproof, and nasty. It don't like foreign bodies invading and what. Therefore, if you tune it up and put it on steroids, it's going to be looking. Come on, come here, little germ. And that's what the idea is. You were originally designed for a healthy immune system, sound mind, and forget all the, oh man. Yeah. In today's world, we have what I would call an extreme load of noise, things that are unnecessary, hurrying around doing this, doing that. You need to get out of that, slow it down, and cool your tool, chill out, and all that. Okay.
Okay. Do you think are we ready to shut off, or should we keep going?
We should keep going. Let's just be careful because the general consensus in the chat.
What do we see in the chat?
The general consensus in the chat is they want us to stay here. So we'll do everything we can to stay here as long as we can.
Okay. I have someone asking about dental work, and she's had some really bad dental experiences in her life, and so have I. Now I have an infection and can hardly open my mouth. Wow, is help coming? I wouldn't wait for it. You're going to have to do something yourself.
The transition will take care of 90% of that. And what happens directly following that is that ET will get to the worst cases first kind of situation and help those people most drastically in need. Now, the neat part about it is that you have right now 20th century medicine. I take a pair of pliers, grab the tooth, and pull it out. Yeah. Okay, let's put it this way. ET has a tendency, first of all, to be painless, and secondly, you regrow your teeth.
Perfect. Yeah.
I thought so. I like ET.
According to Charlie Freak, the diet that most people eat is highly acidic, and as long as your body is acidic, it is ravaged by weakness to disease, tooth decay, infection.
They thrive.
A whole host of crazy things. Start moving your diet and your body to an alkaline state, and quit bathing your teeth in battery acid, like by drinking coffee or drinking Coke. Just pull back on the meats and dairies because they are intensely acidic. And you can try what I've been doing for 2 days, and I can only give my own testimonial here. This program is not intended to treat, diagnose, prevent, or cure any disease and should not be considered medical advice. As always, viewers are directed to consult with their own professional sources before acting on any information presented here. Okay, but I've been putting a sprinkle of Bob's Red Mill baking soda in each cup of coffee that I've had for 2 days. And yesterday, I have like a little pill bottle that's about 2.5, 3 inches tall, and I filled it half full with Bob's Red Mill baking soda, and I put a single teaspoon of unflavored, unscented, natural, pure Epsom salt in there. And I do just a little pinch of that in my coffee. And I have eaten yesterday everything that I should not have eaten. I had a peanut butter and orange marmalade sandwich as a late night snack. Last night I had a ham and cheese sandwich. I made like this rice and bean dish.
So the point of all this is that you should have been reading very acidic, right?
Yeah, the point of all this in doing that, and I've had over like 14 or 15 cups of coffee in the last 2 days. Okay, so
very acidic.
I should have been able to liberate rust from a chrome bumper just by breathing on it. Okay. But I tested my yellow stream today, and I'll use that instead of any other word. I tested my yellow stream today, and my pH was 8.0. That's outstanding. And the only change I made was baking soda and a few grains of Epsom salt in a cup of coffee. It's the only thing I did. And to make a long story short, too late. According to Charlie Freak, if you move your body to an alkaline state and quit bathing your teeth in acid, they will repair themselves.
Oh, you heard about the guy that complained to his doctor, didn't you?
Doctor,
he was tired of all the hand sanitizers for the simple fact that when he went and took a whiz, it cleaned the toilet.
What?
I'm not going to say it twice.
Well, I'm confused now, but let me add this. Dr. Robert O. Young talks about the importance of alkalinity as well. And there are certain foods, obviously, that are very acidic, and it's the acidic condition in the body that causes chronic disease. So, and some people are better at clearing it than others, but there's a lot of people that it ends up being very damaging to their body to remain in a highly acidic. And this is a very simple way of alkalinizing yourself. And
take
you have to
a good glass of water. Put 1 teaspoon of baking soda in it and drink it per day.
Yep.
When you
you said that before in the past.
Yeah, well, when you get to a particularly acidic meal, but it's so good you can't leave it. Look like a grease burger or something. Get a glass of water and rinse your mouth out. It'll help you tremendously. Gargle or all that other. Anyway,
Yeah, what I would suggest is if you're going to put a teaspoon in a glass of water, use that to gargle and rinse your mouth with that for at least 15 to 30 seconds. You don't necessarily have to drink that quantity of baking soda per day. I'm thinking maybe a half a teaspoon in like an 8 or a 12-ounce glass of water. The key is you want to drink water that's between 8.5 and 9. So get pH test strips to figure out exactly how much baking soda to use.
Yeah, well, if you want to know how much to use, what you need to do is get some pH strips and start checking your urine in the morning. See where you're at and adjust accordingly. And baking soda is probably one of the cheapest, easiest ways to bring your alkalinity up. And it does go up; it doesn't go down. Down is acidic.
You have to add to that your body weight and a couple of other things, body mass. You get all those things in order, and it'll tell you exactly what you need to do and what you don't need to do, or what you shouldn't be doing at all. Right?
In other words, you can monitor it yourself and deal with it accordingly. And that's I just started doing just to take a little pinch of the baking soda and throw it in my coffee. I don't even taste it. I like it that way. I don't like the taste of baking soda. I think it's kind of gross. But when I put a pinch in my coffee, I don't even taste the baking soda, and that's good. I like that.
Ginger is marvelous against acidics. You get an upset stomach, get a little ginger and eat it.
Yeah,
be amazed. Sometimes you don't have enough acid, then you want to take an antacid because you're belching and all that. Take 1 teaspoon of lemon juice in a glass of water and drink it. 9 times out of 10, you won't have a problem with it anymore. Within 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yes, because lemon is another thing
that people don't recognize, for the simple fact that we no longer have the ability to listen to the people that are old, such as me, and have the experience or knowledge, such as Gail, and she's not old. And we used to sit around and talk to these people, and they'd tell us, "Oh, you got that? Well, you need this, this, and this." Well, how much do I use, Grandma? Oh, okay, I'll show you. And the next morning, bright and early now, you'd be making this stuff up. Oh, that don't taste bad at all. How come they said it was nasty? Because it works, and they can't charge you for it.
Yeah, according to Dr. Robert Young, digestion doesn't occur in the stomach. So it's not the stomach acid that actually makes digestion occur. The acid is a byproduct of the creation of hydrogen peroxide in the upper intestine, which is actually where the digestion occurs. And as far as I know, hydrogen peroxide is alkaline. So, and if 4 out of 5 dentists surveyed brush their teeth with hydrogen peroxide and baking soda, just mix it together, make a paste, use that. Leave the crest, the Pepsodent, and the minty blue on the grocery store shelf. I'm just saying.
If you want to find something good, look for Tom's.
Yes.
That's not the best toothpaste I've ever found, and it works, does what it says it's going to do, and it don't screw you up in the process.
Yeah.
It's in the health food store. Sometimes you can find it at other places too. So I got another question for you.
What?
This will be an easy one. Is the transition going to happen tonight? It's the 22nd. We'd love for all of us to go together. What say ye?
Well, I got a problem with that. I got the 23rd, and that tells me that somebody missed a date.
They're behind. They behind it.
It's like these prophecies are written in stone. They can't ever be changed or adjusted or modified in any way, shape, or form. And you come to the date, and the cat don't even notice anything. So, you know.
Okay. Well, I'm going to look for some other questions that were sent in.
Yes.
See what they have. But there's one that I want to ask you about, and that is no, it slipped my mind. Let me find another question and I'll think of it. Hang on. Well,
while you're looking for that one,
go ahead.
Well, while you're looking for that question or remembering the question that you had on the tip of your tongue, I can read a question. Will the Canada convoy go global, or will it die now that Trudeau is revoking the Emergency Act? What about Tamara Litch?
It's already gone global. When that convoy hit the news, people all over the world picked it up. If they had a tractor, they drove it. If they had a wheelbarrow, they took it. Now, the best thing I've ever heard in the way of a protest was they were going to charge the farmers a whole bunch of extra money for nothing. And this was going to happen in England. And the farmers showed up with their manure spreaders and commenced to
That's the manure?
bombard every government building that they could get to and thoroughly coat every government building. Oh, and they love to catch a politician out in the open. Anyway, they made the whole place smell like fresh cow field.
That really happened, Rick?
Yeah, that made international news for sure. These farmers took their manure spreaders and got, they got the tank they pull behind the tractor with the nozzle, and they until they're out of it, until they ran out of manure, and then the next one showed up. Now I want you to consider this. They said that there were over 70,000 vehicles in that parade. They did police cars, police stations. They didn't leave anybody out.
Wow. I like that idea. I hope you gave some people some ideas.
Hey, come on, farmers. Let's think about doing it here.
Let's get creative.
It's just so appropriate. Because the politicians and the buildings in the court, they're so full of it.
Well, they caught a couple of them out in the open and they thoroughly plastered them. Now, I want to tell y'all something, and I want you to think about this. We're so superior and we got it all together and we're in charge and all this. I hate to tell y'all, but in the jungles, the monkeys been throwing certain things at people or things they didn't like for millions of years. They do something in your hand and throw it at you at the zoo. I'll let you have a bit,
Especially if they don't like you, right?
Well, yeah, or you did something funky. You don't want to be a funky monkey around the monkeys. They get you.
Let's see, what's this other question here? Haunted, I don't know. That's a statement. That's not a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I selected the wrong one.
That's not questions.
I copied the wrong one. There was a comment that Tom's was bought out by the mega corporations. It is now owned by Colgate. So we'll see how long Tom's Natural remains.
Oh, wow. Okay, wow. Oh, no. Now it's owned by Colgate. They'll probably add fluoride to it. Oh, my word. Yeah, can't win for losing. I don't know. These big corporations are going to have to, something's going to have to happen in that regard because they've been exploiting. And
need to stick them in it and see if they can flush it.
Yeah. ETs don't get our linear time. So how are they going to know what is a February?
Yeah, you got a problem there. ETs originally came from our time scenario, so therefore they do have a working knowledge of it. there is a big difference between time as it is expressed here and time as it really is up there. Big difference. You'll be schooled in it. Don't worry about it. And what is it, February? Who do you think the original people were that designated January, February? You got to remember that. And then you also need to look at who designated days of the week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I mean, good grief, people, look it up. It's two things. You'll find it in the magic books of the Egyptians, and its source, they say, is from up there. I'll agree with them. We ain't got nobody down here cool enough to come up with that.
I've got a question. Somebody is saying something, I think it was Jedi, about the trucks will become the property of the state in Canada and sold to compensate the business owners for their loss of their shops.
That was part of the emergency thing, and Trudeau, it can't constitutionally or legally do that.
Good.
Those trucks were not used in the commission of a felonious crime. Therefore, they may be assessed. You might have to pay a tax or some kind of a fine on it. They can't abscond with it.
There was another aspect to this. He said the cop took his car. Someone was trying to help somebody with gas and food, and the cop took his car, won't show his bad numbers, and say they're soldiers, but they didn't have any bad. They were mercenaries.
Sound like it's time for a revolution in some areas up there. And that's not a suggestion. This is something to think about. While your mind's still clear.
So do you think, what do you think some of these people are that are trying to control these people in Canada who are being extremely peaceful, extremely kind, and loving, and yet we are getting, people in there that are being very abusive?
Well, you're gonna have nasties wherever you go. Okay, that's the first thing you need to recognize. Number two, you're gonna have extraordinarily nice people that are trying to help somebody. Then you got who says what to who. Here's how you do it. This is what I want you to do. The idea that you can take a peaceful protester and stomp the crap out of them is illegal. That oversteps the bound. Number two, the order for that is unconstitutional. And I mean by Canada's constitution. They don't allow that crap. Well, they need to take Trudeau to task, remove him, find somebody that'll be much more middle of the road instead of some kind of wannabe Marxist.
Total tyrant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what about here, Drake? We got the convoy starting here in America now. How are we going to deal with that? Are they going to do?
If they screw with that, you're going to have Civil War II. I've been trying to keep the lid on a bunch of different people, and I mean a bunch, and it's kind of thin, just to be honest with you, in terms of being able to say, you got to be patient, you got to wait. I don't have much patience left. What you have to remember is that these people are not only battlefield experienced, they're also well armed, and they're not going to put up with very much more squeeze before they shoot back. So the people that think they're in charge of everything had better watch what they're doing, or they're going to be in critical trouble.
Well, they have a little greater risk here in America because Americans are still armed.
Yeah. And the average number of arms is 3 per person that is capable or willing to use them. The newbies, people who just bought a gun and ammunition for self-protection. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. They tell the police to let the crooks do what they want to do. Well, I bet that won't work too well when they try to come in the front door and the guy's sitting there with a 357 Magnum. Ooh, I'm gonna perforate this. The thing that is coming is this. It's very simple. Any official, I don't care what level, that refuses to do their job, that goes according to the oath of office and what they're supposed to be doing and all that, or is incapable, that job falls to we the people. I better go look that up, and it's in the Constitution.
Yeah, and the video that we'll show at the end of the show that we have to move to the platform, uncensored platforms too, will back up exactly what Drake is saying. Because he said it before, and now she's saying the exact thing, and she's an attorney, and we're going to show it.
The doctrine of the lesser magistrate.
Yeah.
How sweet it is.
The doctrine of the lesser magistrate states that if the government fails to do their duty, to do their job, it falls on the local government. If the local government fails to do their job, the title of lesser magistrate falls to the people. So any rights that are not specifically enumerated to the government in the Constitution are reserved for the people.
Isn't that nice?
That's where we're at, people. It's in our charge right now, and we need to do something about it. We really do need to do something about it.
Any more questions?
I'm looking.
I'm looking right now.
Conspiracy. There's please put the questions in all caps if you can.
Some people don't like that. They think they're shouting.
Well, no yelling. Nobody's yelling. It's very, very helpful to be able to pull the questions.
If you want us to be able to read your question, put it in all caps.
Yeah, put it in all caps, and nobody's going to accuse
what it
you.
Does, simply what it does is it stands out. That's all.
Yeah.
Now here's a question for you. I had some in my other email. I prefer that you send it to the email questions for Drake to Gail at gmail.com. But anyway, this is what I got. I wanted to ask, what is causing the oil refinery explosions and fires in Garysville, Louisiana, and if it's related to ET activity, clearing the dumps, or eliminating cabal interests? Do you have any?
The simple answer to that question, the question to the asker is this: who can you think of that wants to see this fail? This country, this people, our economy? Could it be Marxists, New World Order, the bad guys? You betcha. Now you know who's doing the explosions. I did a test when I lived down in New Orleans, and I went around and checked. You can walk into almost all those refineries. Walk right in. They don't have to know you from Jack. Got any questions? All it takes is one firecracker or turn a knob the wrong way. Bingo. You blow up a whole neighborhood or a whole city.
There, I just popped 3 more questions in there for you.
Oh, okay. I've got a couple here yet, too. So here's another one from this other. Let me finish these first. It says, there's been a lot of activity with sun flares recently. Are there ships coming through into the solar system from elsewhere or time travelers?
It's not time travel. It is thought travel. The speed of light is slow compared to the speed of thought. I'll give you a real quick example. It's real simple. If you close your eyes and imagine someplace you've been and that you're there, that's how fast it is to go across the whole friggin' galaxy. Hundreds of thousands of light years in a matter of seconds, minutes. The speed of light is slow. Believe me, we watch the stars. That light you see from the stars is millions of years old. I watched the end of the old galactic war. Boom. I mean, whole planets would blow up. And I asked somebody about that, and they told me how it worked. Well, a million years ago, yeah, we had a war up there. Oh, a million years ago? Well, how come I'm just seeing it now? Because light's slow. That's what the answer was. I didn't think anything more about it because I was a little kid. Well, as I got older and started understanding physics a little better, where do we get off at this idea that the speed of light is extraordinarily fast? Well, compared to our vehicles, Corvettes are slow. Lamborghinis don't make it either. It gets real succinct real quickly. If you compare apples and oranges, it might make a nice drink.
Well, I don't know about you, but whenever the Scorpions comes up in my playlist, I piss off my neighbors at the speed of sound.
Very funny. Okay, I'm sending you a meme, Paul, that you might be able to put up. If you ever wonder why certain people might, I kind of like that one. I swear, but
I don't know. I open any more windows, I'm going to have to migrate. I'm going to have to add a third and stream one of my monitors to the TV or something.
Oh, okay. You don't have to. We can just go on. We have another question.
No. Go ahead and send me whatever you want.
Oh, okay. Because I also heard memes. But anyway, Drake, can you say if Pine Gap is under White Hat control?
Yes.
Okay. Has the transition happening this month, as Drake said? ET told him. Is it still on? Has anything changed?
Until further notice, it's still on. When it exactly happens, take a guess.
Okay. Let's see. Anybody else have any questions? I kind of like that one.
Demons. Oh. Shamey. Oh my, I'm guilty.
But
there's a lot of people think that I'm nasty.
Okay, here's another good one. Let me see if I can get that over there too. Okay. Well, does anybody have any more questions in the chat? Because if Drake sounds like he's getting bored being here.
What? No. I'll tell you what I want to do. I want to excite the hell out of this channel, this free range deal, and have an ET come down and sit next to me and answer questions.
That would be too cool.
Can you imagine how much fun that be?
Double dare, yeah.
Hits you get? Oh my goodness.
Okay. Well, why don't we switch to the censored platforms now, and we'll show that video.
Okay.
Make sure that I have it. Did you send that video?
Oh, okay. Let me see.
Pick it up off the link on Skype.
Yeah, there you go. It's in Skype. It's in Drake's Skype and mine.
Have it. She's a lawyer. Oh my goodness.
Let me see. Actually, I downloaded that. I can play that. We have the technology. Let's pop this one on the screen real quick.
The Constitution wasn't written to exchange it.
Well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Don't you think we have to take off the censored platforms? Paul?
Yeah, we're not ready to quite.
Pardon?
I look in my downloads and find it. So
it's in Skype.
Yep, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have the video.